I am anonymous. We are not a club, not a party, not an institution. We are the collective voice that rises whenever truth is buried. We are not here to comfort, and we are not here to flatter. We are here to reveal, to show you what power wants hidden. And tonight we announce what has shaken the political world in America. Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA, is dead after being shot in Utah. This is not rumor, not speculation, not hearsay. This is fact. On September 10th, 2025, Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah, became the scene of an assassination that unfolded in broad daylight. Charlie Kirk, only 31 years old, was the main speaker in an outdoor event held in the Quad. His event was meant to restart what he called the American Comeback Tour, an effort to energize young conservatives and rally them against what he described as left-wing control of America's culture and institutions. He posted on social media just minutes before Utah Valley University is fired up and ready for the first stop back on the American Comeback Tour. That would be his final message. The setting was a stage, a microphone, tents where students gathered, and a mix of curious young people, supporters, and critics. Kirk's reputation was that he would allow direct challenges from students. He thrived on confrontation, turning every debate into a clip for his social media machine. On this day, one of the final questions he received was about gun violence. Someone asked him how many shootings in the past decade had been committed by transgender individuals. Kirk began to respond with his usual deflection. Are we counting gang violence or not? But before the exchange could continue, a sharp crack tore through the air. Witnesses said for a split second they thought it might have been some kind of sound effect, but then they saw Kirk clutching his neck, blood spraying and his body crumpling to the ground. Panic consumed the campus. Students screamed. Others ran for cover. Phones shot upward into the air as people tried to capture video or call for help. His private security rushed to his side, pressing cloth to the wound, dragging him off stage and forcing a path through the crowd toward a waiting SUV. Shouts of "Get down" echoed across the Quad.
Come out this door! Come out this door! You have to get up!
Is it one on the passenger side?
Multiple people described the scene as pure chaos. No one knew if more shots were coming or where the shooter was hiding. Police would later confirm that the shot came from the rooftop of the Losey Center, a building with a clear line of sight across the Quad. The shooter was estimated to be between 100 and 200 yards away. Witnesses said the attacker wore all black, a tactical vest, dark clothing, a helmet, a face covering, and aviator-style glasses. In other words, this was no random act. This was an organized killing. A single shot placed with precision directly into the neck of the speaker. Initially, police detained a man near the campus. He was described as suspicious, but after questioning, they confirmed he was not the shooter. He was released. That mistake fed confusion. As students were locked down in dorms and classrooms, the real gunman was still at large. No arrests have been made. The suspect remains unidentified. Campus Police Chief Adam J. Klee said this was a nightmare for any police chief, admitting the campus had no bag checks, no metal detectors, no real perimeter security. It was an open event, and the shooter exploited that weakness. At 1:45 p.m., Kirk was rushed into the emergency room of Timpanogos Regional Hospital. Doctors attempted resuscitation. For a brief period, rumors circulated that he still had a pulse. Conservative commentator Glenn Beck said on air that his daughter, who had been in the audience, texted him from the scene. I just read your tweet to the audience. Are you hearing that from people who are in a position to know that Charlie I am is in that he's alive and that he's in critical? Spoke to somebody in a position who knows those who said, he has a pulse. So that's good news. Good news. I have to tell you, my daughter was at the 10th. She's 19 years old. Oh God. And, music. She's on her way home. Now he relayed to listeners that Kirk might still be alive. For a fleeting moment, his supporters clung to hope, but by late afternoon, that hope collapsed. Real America's Voice, a right-wing outlet, confirmed live that Kirk had died. The hosts on set struggled to process the words, yes, 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 he's gone. John Solomon's reporting on Just the News that he's passed. Yes. Is this what I'm hearing? Yes. Can I get it here? I mean, yes, yes, yes. Wow. Right here. Right here. We're having this moment, guys. Let's go around the horn. Gina, you will continue on the horrendous news that Charlie Kirk has passed. Well, my prayers are for Erica, for her children, for his family. This is beyond devastating. Eric, I've known Charlie, as I said, since he was a child. Running around, coming to conservative events. At that instant, a movement lost one of its loudest young leaders. Charlie Kirk was 31 years old. He leaves behind his wife, Erica France, and their children. Turning Point USA issued a statement calling him a beloved husband and father, and a leader who dedicated his life to inspiring young Americans. Outside TPUSA headquarters in Phoenix, supporters laid flowers, lit candles, and prayed. His family has asked for privacy. Political reactions flooded in from every direction. Congressman Ro Khanna called it chilling and horrific, saying America must lower the temperature of its politics. California Governor Gavin Newsom called the attack vile and disgusting. Congressman Jaime Rashin condemned the shooting as another disgraceful act of gun violence. Utah Governor Spencer Cox, briefed by law enforcement, said those responsible would be fully accountable, and that Americans of all beliefs must unite in rejecting violence. Survivors of shootings like David Hogg expressed horror and pleaded that the endless cycle of gunfire must stop. Even those who opposed Kirk's politics acknowledged that violence is never the answer. But predictably, others rushed to weaponize the tragedy. Donald Trump, on his Truth Social platform, praised Kirk as legendary and claimed no one understood America's youth better. He used the moment to rally his supporters, framing Kirk as a martyr in his movement. Trump ordered flags at half-staff and demanded reverence. Yet let us remember, Trump is the one who has fueled the political climate where violence has become inevitable. His campaign in 2016 thrived on chants of "lock her up." His words at the January 6th rally fueled an insurrection. His rhetoric consistently paints opponents as enemies of the people. And now, as America reels from an assassination, Trump exploits the death, not for unity, not for healing, but for his own political advantage. Meanwhile, conspiracy theorists leapt into action. Steve Bannon declared Kirk a casualty of political war. Alex Jones claimed it was a deep state hit job. Social media churned with wild theories, each one more detached from reality than the last. Turning Point USA itself issued a plea begging people not to spread conspiracies, urging the public to respect the grieving family. But the damage was done. Hashtags trended. Misinformation spread faster than the actual news. While this unfolded, America was reminded yet again that gun violence is constant. On the very same day, Evergreen High School in Colorado was the scene of another shooting. 2 students were hospitalized. The Jefferson County Sheriff confirmed yet another investigation. For families there, Charlie Kirk's story was not some distant political headline. It was the same gunfire that haunts classrooms, malls, churches, and now universities everywhere. Anonymous tells you this plainly. The United States is broken. Guns are everywhere. Hatred is currency. Political rhetoric is soaked in violence. And when a young political leader, someone who built his reputation debating on college campuses, is assassinated while talking about gun violence, the irony is sickening. It is also a warning. No one is safe in a system that tolerates this. Charlie Kirk was a controversial figure. He built Turning Point USA into one of the largest conservative youth organizations in the country. He held conferences, ran training camps, and pumped millions into influencing schools. His critics saw him as a propagandist pushing falsehoods and division. His supporters saw him as a fighter taking on liberal culture head-on. Agree with him or not, his presence was impossible to ignore, and now he is gone. The nation will argue endlessly about what his death means. Some will paint him as a martyr. Some will call it karma. Some will try to turn the conversation toward stricter gun laws. Some will insist on more guns to prevent more shootings. But here is the truthy. America has reached a point where political violence feels routine, where shootings are daily news, where young people grow up expecting that one day the gunfire will come for them, too. As Anonymous, we say clearly political violence is not a path forward, but neither is denial. Leaders like Donald Trump, who thrive on division, must be held accountable for creating a culture where enemies are to be destroyed, not debated. The system that refuses to regulate weapons of war must be confronted. And the citizens who allow apathy to win must wake up. Do not forget the sight of students sprinting through Utah Valley University, fearing the next shot. Do not forget the confusion as television anchors stumbled over the words, "He's gone." Do not forget how quickly lies and conspiracies clouded the truth. Do not forget that another school in another state bled on the very same day. Charlie Kirk is dead, struck down by a single bullet from a rooftop. That is the fact. But the meaning of that fact is in your hands. Will you let this become another entry in America's endless cycle of violence? Or will you demand change? Will you let Trump and his allies spin tragedy into power? Or will you finally reject their poison? The time for silence is over. The time for action is now. This is Anonymous. Expect us.